New year, new me. Tyler.
New Year.
There it is.
New Year brought to you by proximity. The proximity of my microphone to my face is the same as this year. Proximity to you.
No, yes. Yeah. New year, new me.
New year, new me.
Hey, you know what we're going to do this
new
year?
Phone, who dis? Sorry.
There's a game that we play. I think it's called New Phone, Who Dis. It could be. What it is it's kind of like Cards Against Humanity, and they show you a text message you get from somebody, and they give you possible text message responses. It's kind of funny. But that's not what we're talking about today, Tyler, because we're going to do this better this year, right?
You know what's getting popular?
What?
Wordle. Have you heard of that?
Oh, yeah. You can only play once a day. No,
you can play once a day?
Yeah, you can only play once a day.
I didn't know that.
Yep.
I played it once yesterday. Nope.
Well, you're not able to play
Tuesday.
You're not able to play it again on Tuesday.
So it's Tuesday's over. No Marty McFly.
Well, today's Tuesday night. It's Tuesday night, midnight right now.
We need to stop. This is why we start crumbling, is because we're like 1 o'clock in the morning.
It is very difficult at 1 o'clock in the morning to
keep your train of thought talking about Tim Tebow.
Well, he's not worth it.
He's
but
sweetie.
You know what? We're about ready to talk about one of the things that I am so unbelievably excited and happy to talk about. So it's really, really important that we get right to it right away.
You know who helps us get started really quick?
Who?
Joseph Tilley.
Okay, there it is. What are we going to talk about, though?
Oh, we're talking about
the James Webb Space
internet.
Telescope.
I'm sorry.
No, not the internet.
I'm sorry.
It's bigger than the internet.
Oh, wow.
It's the telescope. I'm seriously geeked out about this thing.
I'm so excited.
No, you're not.
Hey, how's it going? Welcome to the Tyler and Neil Explain Everything podcast. Now officially your fourth favorite podcast. Hit the subscribe button and make sure you go to patreon.com/explain everything to get exclusive episodes. Looks like we made it.
Tyler.
Yes, sir.
I'm about to nerd out.
All right.
I'm about to nerd out.
I'm ready.
You are not ready.
Yes, I am. I have the notes pulled up, and I have my email pulled up. If you get into like some weird zone, I'm going to check some emails.
You start answering emails in the middle of this, so help me. I will talk louder.
You did during the Twilight episode, so I'm doing it now.
I never did that.
We both love things that are very important. Twilight and the universe. The Twilight universe.
Well, at the twilight of the universe is what the Big Bang was all about.
Bong.
Ding dong.
What do you want to say to Joel Byron? What's up, baby? Take me out to dinner.
Hey. Okay. All right. So this is absolutely, this may be mind-boggling. This might not be. Tyler, do you care about this?
My mind is boggled.
No, it's not.
I care about telescopes. How are we going to see stuff far away if we don't have them, Neil? It's very important to me.
Use your eyes.
I know nothing about what we're about to talk about except for that you said something about a telescope and James Webb, James Gunn's brother.
James Webb.
He's in all of his movies.
The reason why we're on the moon is because of James Webb. James Webb was the NASA director for years and years and years.
Is he still alive?
No.
Oh, dang. Neil, why do you got to bring the
He gone.
atmosphere
That's
down?
why we got this telescope to see backwards into the history of James Webb. No, it's not true.
We're going. We don't need roads.
I'm going to say this. This is a very important statement. This James Webb Space Telescope is the most complicated thing that human beings have ever created.
What? No
Ever.
way.
Ever.
Have you seen a Rubik's Cube? I still don't get how that works.
Have you seen what this? I'm going to give you an example of what this thing can do, because this is up in space right now. This thing can see, if it were on Earth, it could see the heat of a bumblebee as far away as the moon.
So it doesn't see stuff; it just sees the heat of stuff.
No, not true. I'm just saying that it could register heat. It could not only just see the actual bumblebee, it could see the heat that registers from a bumblebee. But in space, nobody can hear you scream.
The next line of your notes, because I reviewed these last night for a couple hours before today.
Okay.
It says it will see back 13.7 billion years.
Correct.
What does that even mean?
Oh my gosh, I'm so happy right now.
Okay.
I'm so happy. This is
in
amazing.
the words of Mark Zuckerberg, played by Jesse Eisenberg, you have my attention.
So what this telescope is able to do is that it... Yes.
Sorry, before you get into that, that was the wrong quote.
What?
He says, Jesse Eisenberg said, I'm sorry, this is really important, Neil. This is the most complicated thing humans have ever done, is explain an incorrect reference. I said Jesse Eisenberg from the Social Network said,
yes.
You have my attention.
No,
he didn't. He said it was Leonardo DiCaprio and Django Unchained. Django Unchained. The D is not silent. But I'm thinking of where he says, you have my minimal attention.
Yes.
You don't have you're not Jesse. You have my full attention. I am your Leonardo DiCaprio, but not that Leonardo DiCaprio, because he was very racist.
Wow.
You have my non-racist, blood diamond Leonardo DiCaprio.
Okay.
Anti-racist.
Thanks.
That's where I lived.
Do you have the island level of...
Island boys.
I actually didn't see it. I didn't see that movie.
You saw the island?
No, I never.
Shutter Island.
Oh, he
Also
did too.
Leonardo
He
DiCaprio.
did, yeah. Wow.
He's an island guy.
Yeah.
He's like, I pick my movies based on where I get to vacation.
How little amount of work I have to do.
Okay, so telescopes and
All
stuff.
right, so this is a massive telescope. It is as large as a tennis court.
Okay, you skipped over my thing. It will see back 13.7 billion years.
Okay, so if I will, this is going to take a while to explain it. What this will be able to do is see backwards in history. Because, okay, you know that the light that we are seeing from the stars that are in the sky right now is not from right now.
No, it's from 8 minutes ago.
That's from our sun.
Yeah, that's what I said.
I'm glad you
it's
said
the
it
only
was
star
8
that
minutes
matters
ago.
to me.
Okay, it should be. But the other stars that are out there, what you're seeing is them from years and years and years, millions, even billions of years ago. That's how long it has taken the light from that star to travel to us.
Got it.
So what this telescope is going to be able to do is see backwards in time from the origins of the universe. We know the universe is expanding, correct?
Yeah, I knew that.
But we think that we know how rapidly the universe is expanding, but we don't know what was the point of the origin of when it expanded.
Okay.
So you have to be able to measure light, how far away it is, and you look at it on different wavelengths to tell. I'm 100% nerded out about this.
No,
right now.
I'm in.
This will allow us to see backwards in time.
Because we can see the stars before they explode or before the light.
Correct. So we will be able to see back. So we're going to get into the way that light travels.
So I guess this telescope allows it to travel faster than the speed of light.
It allows us to see how fast the universe is expanding based off of the rate or the distance by measuring wavelengths of light on how fast a star is moving toward or away from us.
Okay.
Is that enough?
Yeah. Bro, can I be honest?
Yes.
Like over the past year.
Is this going to be our shortest episode ever?
I know. No.
Bro, can I be honest? I don't think we should talk about this.
Can we talk about Dragon Ball Z? I think people would really like to know.
I don't even know what that means.
Kamehameha was used in the Eternals and in Shang-Chi.
Kamehameha.
So I'm sorry. I've gotten in this thing where it's like you have this like out-of-body experience where you these existential quandaries where you're just like looking at life and the fact that we even exist. Like we are these organisms that have developed over these years, and like we are talking on a podcast. We're talking about Tim Tebow and movies from Marvel.
Right.
We are sitting here. It's like so weird. And then we just have this blip on Earth where we do this thing. It's just so crazy to me. Like, I just can't.
Do you ever think about that kind of stuff?
Yes. I'm saying like it freaks me out, man.
Okay.
Because I'm like, just traveling. I'm literally listening to a book right now about not wasting time. And it talks about all this stuff and these moments we have and like how we just speed through this one life. It's not like I get a reset when I'm like 85. Right. It's not like a weight scale that loops around from 200 back to 0. Like it's like you have this one trip through life, and it's like, it's really freaking weird, man. How we, and it's like even in the expanse of human existence, if we were born 50 years ago, we couldn't do this,
right?
Unless we got on a radio show.
Yeah.
If we were 100 years ago, we couldn't get in a plane,
right?
Because they had just been invented, I guess, in 1903.
Right. But two of us couldn't get in a plane because it wasn't big enough.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
If it's 1,000 years ago, we're fighting for our lives and fighting the Black Plague.
Right.
3,000 years ago, it's like we just want to stay alive, and it's like we have no way to communicate or travel outside unless we want to get dirt all over. It's
we're here now.
Now we are in a moment in time where we can talk and anybody in the world can listen to us.
Do you ever wonder if people always feel like this? Like, okay, 100 years ago, do people are like, oh my gosh, I can't believe we get to live now?
Yes,
okay.
I do. I think that everything we see is an advancement of what has been. I think 100 years from now, they'll be looking back like they did podcast. Oh my gosh, it's like caveman. And there's going to be another way we just upload the information in your brain.
Yeah.
Like it's just... Dude, it freaks me out, man.
Yeah.
Like when I think about it too much, I can't even.
I love thinking about that kind of stuff. I absolutely love it.
It trips me out, bro. It
is pretty trippy.
We should start a podcast together.
So what this thing is going to do is it's going to answer a lot of questions for us.
Okay.
Because right now, up until this thing got launched on December 25th of 2021. Merry Christmas.
Oh, hey.
It got launched on that date. It arrived at L2. We can get to that at some point,
It's
but
part
it's
of the vertebrae.
L2 is actually the Lagrange point number 2 out.
No,
out
Hermione
past
Granger.
Oh my gosh.
Sorry.
It got there on January 24th, and we will get images from this telescope around June of 2022.
Because it's shooting it back to us.
Yes, but it takes that long for them to run every diagnostic on this thing. Okay, this thing is massive. It's as big as a tennis court. It weighs 7 tons. It has to unfold. Have you seen pictures of this thing?
I'm about to look it up.
Okay, go look at a picture of it. It is mind-bogglingly beautiful.
It's called the Hermione Granger.
No,
what is it called?
This is called the James Webb Space Telescope.
I rewatched Passengers the other night. Is this like that?
It's exactly like that. Yes. The James Webb Space Telescope is beautiful. What you're seeing, all of those gold plates, there are 18 hexagonal plates that are built. That is basically like mirror number 1. Now this, okay, I can't get ahead of myself here. This thing costs, take a guess of what this thing costs.
$2 billion.
$10 billion.
That's more than 2.
It is more than 2.
But less than 12.
It's so much money. Like that is, okay, this actually started in, I want to say it's 1996.
That's when they started building this.
That's when they started building this thing.
Wow.
It has taken that long. So what has happened is funding has stopped coming through. If it weren't for the partnership, so this is between NASA and the ESA, which is the European Space Agency, the CSA, the Canadian Space Agency, which in and of itself seems a bit of a joke.
Why?
I don't know, it's Canadian. Like if you, the best thing that's ever come out of Canada is the Ryans.
Ryan Gosling, Ryan Reynolds, and Justin Bieber.
Oh yeah, that's him. I forgot that's his first name.
Yeah.
There are 300 universities and 14 other countries that contribute to this thing.
That's
so
cool.
It got shut down multiple times because of funding. COVID shut it down. This thing is one of the best protected secrets, and they take better care of this thing than most anything else that NASA has ever been involved in. This thing, when they launch it up there, they know this thing is going to last for 10 years. That's all the
And then
longer
it just floats
lasts.
off?
No, it's just that it won't be as reliable after that.
I know, but it doesn't come back, does it?
No, it cannot.
Bye-bye.
Right. So where this thing is hanging in orbit is behind the Earth and past the moon. That's what L2 is. So L2, it is rotating around L2. L2 is called a Lagrange point. Let me go back down here to my notes because I don't want to get this wrong.
It's rotating around the sun, though, not around the moon.
It is rotating around L2, which is a location in space.
So it just rotates around a blank area?
A blank spot that is
past the moon.
Directly behind Earth and the moon.
So what gravity pulls it in?
So
isn't that what
it's gravity from the Earth. So what L2, what Lagrange points are, is they are positions of gravitational stability between two or more objects.
Okay.
So you have the gravity from the sun, you have gravity from the Earth, you have gravity from the moon. And the reason why this is actually behind the Earth is because it is protected from the heat and the radiation from the sun. So it is hanging back in the shadow of Earth, rotating around L2. The reason why it's there is the front of this thing. I want to get this right. Hang on. The front of this thing gets extremely hot. The back of it is extremely cold. So it's 185 degrees on the front side. It's minus 388 degrees on the back side. The reason why it hovers there is because it has to stay in the shade of Earth so that the sunlight from the sun itself is not messing with any of the optics. And it also is in a perfect temperature range right where it is at, like lined up directly there. So it's called L2. It is in the shadow of that. Heat, gravity, light are in perfect unison. It cannot be serviced. If something goes wrong with this thing, we can't get to it.
Yeah.
It's further out than we ever went when we went to the moon. And it took them like 7 days to get to the moon and 7 days to get back. It's going to take way longer to get out to this point, and there's no easy way to turn around. We use the moon to slingshot back to Earth, but there's nothing to slingshot from out there.
If we go to Mars, won't that take like...
It's like 3 months.
No, 3 months?
You might want to check that. I don't know. I think it's probably more than 3 months, isn't it? Maybe it is.
I'm about to find out.
Maybe it is. So what's wild about this location, where this thing is sending out information, it is not...
Did I say the moon or Mars? I said Mars, didn't I?
Yeah, you said Mars.
Okay, good.
Yep.
It would take about 7 months.
Dang.
You know what I based it on?
What?
The movie Rocket Man with that comedian that we don't ever see anymore, where he goes to Mars, but he accidentally wakes up early.
Oh my gosh, which one?
I don't remember his name.
I'm losing it right
It
now.
don't matter.
It's Pete Davidson.
Yeah, pretty much.
So here's the thing: is they don't send a signal directly to the telescope. The telescope and Earth actually can't really see each other the best way. So what ends up happening is they send a signal to where the telescope is going to be, and it actually wraps around the moon. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it would have if I was paying attention. I was looking up
It's
Rocket
okay.
Man from
It's okay.
1997. Fred, it's
Fred Durst.
no, I wish the goat, Harland Williams. Remember him? That was him.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Rocket Man.
Yeah.
You're right. Oh my gosh, I
Yeah.
did see that.
I'm pretty
movie.
sure they said it took 9 months in there, but yeah.
Wow. Okay. Well, that's. I mean, it's probably based on some facts.
It's a true story.
What they do is they send the signal out there to this thing,
Okay.
not to where it is. You don't point directly at it. You point to where it's going to be.
Oh yeah, see.
And so it actually wraps around the moon and circles around and gets to the other side of it,
Okay.
which is really interesting. The reason it has this big gold dish on the front of it is it's like a bucket. It's like a mirror, and it buckets all of the information in, and light is what it's measuring, bounces in, bounces back out to the point of that thing that you can see, and then bounces directly inside. So it's 3 different mirrors that it actually bounces around, and then it captures that with that. What that does is, the reason why there are 3 of them, it operates like an image stabilizer in your camera in your phone. Like your iPhone has an image stabilizer in it, and it's basically bouncing that image around. It's doing the same thing.
Okay.
So this thing is out there. If something breaks on this thing, we can't fix it. It's not possible. If this thing goes dark in a month, 10 billion gone.
We lost it.
What's wild? Hang on, I want to read this. There is a guy. I don't want to get his name wrong.
When you think about it, though, that's really only like 8 Marvel movies worth of money. It's not that big a deal.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
You're right.
I know.
That's terrifying.
Yeah.
We make a big deal about this. You're like, how dare you spend that? But make sure you do the CG
Make
better
sure-
on that.
Make sure you get that green screen pulled up.
Ant-Man looks better.
Don't let Thanos not have a sword in one scene and have a sword in the next. That happened a lot, actually. Go ahead.
So Dr. John Mather is the guy who is the senior project manager for this thing. He won the Nobel Prize for another satellite that he built. All right, what's the only other space telescope you know of?
The Hubble.
Correct. This is like it's like a replacement for it, but it's light years better. Do you know when the Hubble Space Telescope went up in space?
1997 with the movie Rocket Man.
1990.
Oh.
7 years before that
Oh, okay. Well, that's
Which is
how I mark history in my brain.
is based off of that movie.
Yeah.
It's great. It was launched in 1990. It's in low Earth orbit. It is 330 miles up from the surface of Earth. How far do you think the James Webb Space Telescope is?
330 miles.
Carry the one. A remainder of 2.
338 miles.
338 miles.
Yeah, you don't want to get too far from the Hubble.
Yeah.
You know, that's what I always say.
That's what I say. You don't want to get too. Hey, yeah,
you don't want to get too far from that.
Well,
Hubble.
the Wi-Fi signal starts to drop.
Well, yeah, exactly.
Bluetooth. Yeah. No, it's a million miles out.
No.
It's a million miles out.
How long did it take it to get there?
It left on December 25th
you
and
already
got
said
there
it.
January 24th.
You said it.
It got there. Yeah. So this is a really big deal. So this is all controlled out of a place. It's a NASA Goddard Space Flight Center. It's in Greenbelt, Maryland, and the Hubble didn't see in infrared wavelengths. It took photos, took pictures, and sent those back.
Really leaned into the
I
word
got
pictures there.
really excited.
You really
about
came. Pictures. Like you popped that. Pictures. I'm sorry.
So fast.
Hey, my name's Tyler, and I had no value to conversations. You're all in on this, and I'm like, pictures. I am that annoying kid at that freaking Thanksgiving. Hey, Uncle Neil, have you seen this? Pizza hands. It's like, don't make no sense. I'm sorry. Sorry, keep going.
All right. So this thing is wrapped in gold foil, but it's actually called beryllium. It bounces back and forth. Anastigmatic telescope is what I'm just going to. Why did I do all this research? Why did I do any of this?
Neil, I think you like it.
I've got
I think you're
way
into
too much.
Go
Okay.
ahead.
This has got the front side of this thing has the mirrors pointed out towards space. The back part of it looks like a giant what is a 4-sided object?
Peace. Like a quadrilateral?
There it is. Okay, good.
I was trying to because I was stuck on a
Did
joke.
you say pizza?
No. I was gonna say You go, it looks like a giant, and I want to go, James and the Giant Peach. And I was like, no, Tyler, no, stay. And then you asked me a question. I was like, and all I could think of was Giant Peach.
Peaches.
And so I changed it. So actually answer your question. Quadrilateral.
Quadrilateral. So it has 5 thin layers of thin plastic coated in metal that are a sun shield. That's on the bottom part of it and has a big little gold mirror thing.
Hawn, yeah.
Goldie Hawn.
Goldilocks on.
Just a giant picture of Goldie Hawn.
Goldfinger starring Austin
So
Powers.
it keeps the sensors from overheating. Okay, that's all right. Whatever,
so dope, bro.
Whatever. This is what's wild. It has a tiny solar panel on it. I feel like now everything from this point on is you making fun of me.
No, I'm
it
not.
has a tiny solar panel on here, so that actually converts over to energy, but it only has like a couple of kilowatts on it. It's like very, very little amount of energy. It only has a tiny bit of fuel. The reason why it needs that fuel and has these gyroscopes on it is because there is solar radiation pressure coming from the sun that pushes it off course, and it has to stay exactly where it is, or else it's going to get too hot or too cold.
Yeah.
I can't. You know how a motorcycle?
Yeah.
Have you ever seen like a motocross guy like jump up in the air?
Runaway Ralph.
Wreck-It Ralph.
No, Runaway Ralph.
Runaway Ralph?
A mouse that rides a motorcycle.
What is that from?
Runaway Ralph. It's a book. I had to read in 5th grade.
I didn't know this.
Yeah,
Okay,
go ahead. Keep
Runaway
going.
Ralph.
Yeah. And I'm saying I know your example because of that book.
If you jump a motorcycle in the air, it doesn't just like go up and come back down the exact same way. The rider can control whether the front end goes up or the front end comes back.
Yeah, it's in how you hit the gas.
It's how you hit the gas or the brakes.
Yeah.
So brakes makes the front wheel come down. Gas makes the front wheel go up, because what you're doing is you're turning the back wheel.
Exactly.
That's like a gyroscope.
Yeah.
This thing has 3 of those gyroscopes on it,
Yeah.
and they rotate so that they could reposition it without using any power from anything else. No fuel.
That's dope.
Okay.
Sounds like a Tesla. Yeah.
It is actually not like there are no gyroscopes on a
No
Tesla.
fuel. Tesla in your face.
You whittled down 6 pages of notes right there. It's just like a Tesla.
It's like a Tesla. You're like, I go, yeah, it's like a Tesla. Hey,
Yes.
before we move on, this is really important.
Okay.
I made up a joke in my head based on you saying the word kilowatt. Can I tell you what it was?
Yes, please.
You could just tell me if it's rate it 1 to 10.
Okay.
I literally made this up. I've never heard
Okay.
this joke.
Okay.
I made
this
it
is
up.
like what Finnick does, where he makes jokes up and doesn't realize they're coming out of a book.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So, how do you kilowatt?
I don't
Stop
know.
asking questions. You get it? Because people say what?
Right. Yeah.
Kilowatt. Stop saying what. Ask questions.
That's pretty good.
Do you really like it?
That would go into like a science book.
1 to 10.
I give that a solid 7.
I can live with that.
Okay.
Hey. All right.
7 gets you to the finals.
Hey.
It just doesn't mean you win the game.
Real World 7. That's an Arkansas 9. It's an Ohio 15. But go ahead.
Okay. All right. So the reason why this telescope is so amazing is because it measures infrared light. You just check the time on this thing.
No,
to
I didn't.
see
No,
how
I
long
didn't.
is this
I
thing
checked
going.
to see because I realized I had my hand on my bare skin on my
okay.
stomach, and I looked to think, did they just see my
They
gut
see me
for like 40 seconds?
Rubbing my belly.
Rubbing my belly button.
So this actually measures infrared light. We've never had a telescope do that before.
Okay.
Now, I am going to. I don't know if I should go into all this.
Yes.
This is ridiculous.
If you don't, I'll walk out, the restroom.
Okay. What wavelength do we see light right now?
The first one.
Roy G. Biv.
Yeah, that's what I said.
So we see colors based off of wavelengths of light, refracted light, not reflected.
Yeah, I
That's
knew
not
that.
a word.
That word made sense.
That's refracted light. So the rainbow colors you see with the human eye is that, but infrared light actually does something a little bit different here. This is going to be odd, but it does a red shift. They're measuring red shift. Here's why they do this. What they can tell with infrared light is the further away a light source gets from you, it goes more toward infrared.
Okay.
If it gets directly on the same wavelength, as far as wavelength, remember, we're measuring this in waves of light. So the length of the waves of light between the further apart they are, that is red. That is that's infrared. But if it gets to our wavelength, we see it in color.
Yeah.
But if it gets closer, it gets to ultraviolet. Ultraviolet is on one side. Roy G. Biv is right here in the middle. And then the other side of it is he's checking his emails.
No, I'm not.
He's checking his emails.
I'm looking up. There's a movie
now.
called Ultraviolet, and I couldn't remember who was in it.
Oh, who is in it?
It's not Scarlett Johansson, is it?
No.
Ultraviolet movie,
No.
2006.
Ultraviolet
It was-
is.
hey, she's pretty.
There's a
What's her
lady.
name?
There's a lady.
Oh, Mila Jojovic.
Jojovic.
Yeah.
Okay. Here's what it's going to do. We're going to be able to see planets and other things out there. We are going to be able to measure them based off of like what the contents are. So, hey, is there any water on that planet? Is there anything on that planet? Because they all have different wavelengths of light. What we're actually going to be able to, this is the same thing. All right.
And Passengers,
Do you
they
ever
go to
do-
Homestead.
Oh my gosh.
Homestead too.
Okay.
That's where they're going.
They do.
And it took 90 years to get there. I'm
Okay.
sorry, 120 years to get there.
Yeah.
And they
It was a
woke
long
up after
time.
30 years.
Chris Pratt was a bad man on that one.
He was a real
big mistake.
But he could have put her back to sleep.
He should have.
At the end, at the end, she had the option to go back into
Oh, yeah,
hibernation, and
yeah.
she chose to live a life with
She
him.
chose to
But
ruin
they
the
didn't
rest of
have
the
kids.
ship.
I thought there'd be like kids and stuff.
No, because then you got to take care of him.
And he's selfish. He's like, no, I
He's
just want
very
I just want
selfish.
that pretty girl
He
to
wanted
wake
to put
up.
plants everywhere. A
Yeah.
giant
He's
tree
like, we
right in
made
the
a
middle
tree.
of it.
It's like, where are people going to sit to eat? Out of the little coffee dispenser.
You know what would have been cool about that movie?
That was not a bad movie, though.
It's not a bad movie.
It was good.
It was what was funny is Lawrence Fishburne is in there, and at some point I wanted him to. It turned into the Matrix. He's like,
Oh, that would've
no,
been
you're
sick.
you're in a pod. This
Yeah,
is
this
not.
is
None of this
actually-
is real.
Yeah, well, they were in pods. That's actually.
You go see a fireworks show?
No, I hate fireworks shows.
Do you really?
Yes, they're
Why,
so
'cause you think
freaking
they're
stupid.
dumb? They're a waste
Yeah, I
of
think
time?
they're like, it's like, oh, wow, cool, lights in the sky. Like, it's so stupid to me. Like, I'm sorry. Parades and fireworks shows. It's like two things that Amanda always wants to go to that I think are so freaking dumb.
I don't like parades.
Parades are just homeless
Parades are
marching
different.
bands.
You went to New York City to watch a parade.
I didn't go there for that, and I only watch it because Amanda asked to.
You watch it from the sky.
I saw like 10
You
seconds.
looked
I
up.
spent most of my time playing on my phone in another room because I was like, this, I don't care about
Oh.
freaking balloons. Like, it's
Those
like,
are
oh,
the
cool.
best balloons ever. They're the biggest
but
balloons.
even the best balloon ever is like, oh, it's like the tallest
another
4-year-old
one.
on a basketball team. Like, they're not good. So it's like, I don't care.
Oh my gosh.
So I don't know.
Okay.
I'm sorry. That's a fun fact about me. I think parades and fireworks shows are stupid and lame. And
Okay.
Amanda, I think, only likes them because she knows I'm freaking bored out of my mind.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
She's like, hey, we need to go take the kids to experience this. I'm like, how about they experience another country and a culture? Like, not freaking, like, oh, bottle rock, fancy bottle rockets.
What happens if you go to another country and they have a fireworks display?
Then I'll walk over to something else and look at, burnt DVDs, like bootleg DVDs. That's what I'd rather see. I'm sorry.
Language captions at the bottom. I was going to say,
Well,
like,
we're talking. No, I'm sorry.
the
Space
reason why
stuff.
fireworks have different colors is because there are different chemicals in them. So the way we see
yeah.
the color is based off the light, and that's what this thing is going to do. We are actually going to be able to measure some of the most amazing things ever. I'm not going to get into the complexity of sound
Why?
waves. I'm going to skip over that.
Do you want me
because
to
it's
do
not
it with my
important right
voice
now.
where I?
Please do it with the way a siren sounds when it's in an ambulance. Go through that
Where
part.
is it? Ooh, wait, what?
Yep.
Where is it?
It's right here.
You know what that's from? Not at the Roxbury. It's the joke they say when they're hitting on girls.
I've never seen that movie.
You've never seen Not at the
we
Roxbury.
talked about that before.
Ooh. And the girl goes, like, she's like sitting there and she wants to make out, but he's like, and Will Ferrell just keeps going, ooh. And they go, well, what are you doing? He goes, that's the sound of an ambulance coming to take me away because the sight of you stopped my heart.
Oh my god!
And she goes, you can stop with the pickup lines like I'm here. And he didn't never know what to do because he
doesn't know
never
how to
got
do it.
past pickup lines.
Wow!
So where are we in the
Right
notes?
there, the way a siren sounds.
The way a siren sounds.
See it?
The way a
I've
motorbike
I've
jumps
highlighted it.
across. Hey, there it is. I was not far enough down the notes.
It's okay. We've made it. I've
Okay.
skipped a lot of things.
So I'm going to read your notes
you.
in a tone.
Oh,
I'm going to read it like you've been talking.
Okay.
Is that cool?
Is this the tone that I have?
No, I'm about to show you.
Oh
the tone.
my gosh!
Tyler, the way a siren sounds whenever it's in an ambulance, that's the sound. Like the further away it is, the tone shifts lower. Have you ever noticed how the tone shifts lower as it goes further away from? It's almost like the reflection of an ambulance. It's backwards, so you can see it in your rearview mirror, Neil.
Whoa.
The closer it is to you, the tone shifts. Neil, this is incredible. Incredible. The tone shifts to higher.
Higher?
Higher. Yes, Neil, you're not paying attention. Stop
Higher?
checking your email. The sound doesn't actually change. It's this is incredible. We've never done this. It's incredible. It's actually incredible. Nobody knows this. It's how close we are to the siren. That's
Whoa!
what the
So
sound
the
doesn't.
siren itself doesn't.
No, don't
change.
interrupt me. I'm really into
sorry.
this. Okay, please check your email. This is because of the compression of sound waves in relation to where you are.
Whoa!
I know, man.
Wow!
Neil, what it comes down to is I'm smarter than you. You have all you've done this podcast is reference a movie from 1997, a movie from 2006.
I'm so sorry.
And you couldn't even remember the lead actors' names. And you talked about Chris Pratt.
I'm sorry.
Bing, bang, boom, you're out.
Bingo!
There was a guy that I went to high school
Bongo.
with, and he signed. He would, if you went up to him with your yearbook, his senior year, he would first look at you and decide if he would sign it or not. And some people he would just say no, and he would hand it back to him, and he wouldn't sign their yearbook.
Wow!
And the people he said yes to, he would take it And he would have it for one class period, and he would write you a short poem in there, like a 4 to 5 line poem, and he would sign it, not his name, Brian. I won't say his last name. It was your name. And so he would sign it, Big Bang Boom.
Big Bang.
I was like, Brian,
yeah,
it was the second greatest thing he ever did in my eyes in high school. Like he did a lot of cool
stuff. What
stuff.
was the first greatest?
The first greatest was in 9th grade. Someone bet him like $20 that he wouldn't wear the same shirt every day for the entire year. He made it like 3 weeks, and then the shirt started like smelling really bad.
Yeah.
And so he quit. But he did it for like 3 or 4 weeks. He wore this tie-dyed Star Wars shirt every day.
Oh my God.
It was freaking awesome.
That's
and
really
like,
good.
Now that I'm grown up, like I didn't fully appreciate that man. And I wish him the best.
Brian.
Because
Brian, if you're listening,
Brian,
come back to us.
You were freaking awesome, bro.
Yeah.
Like, and I've been really just based on the t-shirt thing and signing like
Bang
selective yearbook signings saying the Big Bang Boom.
Bang Bang Boom.
And writing a poem. That was just genius. Like
that is pretty genius.
Why couldn't I be that cool? Neil, many of the objects we're looking at and looking for are moving away from us.
Tyler, it's okay.
That means that they were created so long ago.
Yeah.
A long, long time ago in a galaxy far away. Billions of years ago.
Billions
Not
with
millions,
a B?
with a B.
Okay.
Billion. Have you seen that TikTok? Like a woman will walk up to her husband and he'll be like on his phone or something. She'll go, "Hey, honey, would you punch me in the face for $1 billion?" He goes, "Yes." Like $1 billion, $1 billion,
$1 billion.
I would drag you out into the street and hit you
gosh.
with a 2x4 for $1 billion.
Yeah.
Have you seen those?
No, I haven't.
I want to go to the restroom while you sell the next thing.
Okay.
Get back on topic,
Oh, this
bro.
is going to be bad.
This is awesome. Stop it. What are you doing?
No.
That's the foot race button. What are you doing?
No, it's not.
No, this is a foot race of space. Oh, this is my use the restroom button.
Yeah, Tinkletown with Tyler. This is my use the restroom button. If I had just not pressed that, will you not have to use the restroom? He just tripped on the way out. All right, listen. I'm gonna say a couple things here that I know Tyler doesn't genuinely care about, but they're a big deal to me. Every part of this telescope has been tested here on Earth because they have to simulate what space is going to be like. Like they genuinely have to see, is this thing going to operate in 0G? And so what do? They have a massive thermal vacuum chamber that was built in the 60s that simulates 0G in the vacuum of space right here on Earth. You're like, what? I don't know. I thought that we just had to go to outer space to do that. No, there is a spot here at NASA where they simulate 0G. It's called a massive simulator canister. It looks like a giant boiler, but it's meant to, instead of like build up pressure, it keeps pressure out. They've tested it and retested every one of the components on this thing to make sure that it would work. That's why it's taken since 1996, which is so dumb. It's taken $10 billion to get this thing, okay? The other thing is, they have to make sure that this thing, it like doesn't fall apart when they launch it with a rocket. So they have this, this is going to sound ridiculous, but it is a massive shaker table is what it is. It shakes violently, and they put every single one of these panels and every single part of this telescope on this thing to see, is this thing going to fall apart? How they transport the parts from one section of one building to another building, they have a giant air cushion. It's like a hovercraft, and they keep it so it's not touching the ground or anything. And it's incredible, Tyler. Don't you agree?
Yeah, absolutely. How long is that music?
It's long enough.
Okay. Sorry.
All right.
Okay.
So I'm going to tell you this one because I think you'll like this one.
What did I miss?
You'll like this. You'll miss all the good stuff. I know. I saved it for you. There is this. They have to test this thing to make sure that it holds up against sound and against vibration. I already talked about vibration when you guys were gone. When you were gone, but that sound. What they've done is they actually built the biggest speaker chamber in the world that has the largest subwoofers ever. And they blast it with different sound waves to see, hey, is this thing going to vibrate and shake apart when sound hits it? So when it's launching, is it going to break apart? It's the world's largest subwoofer.
That's dope.
Yeah.
16-year-old Tyler would have been hype.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That would be absolutely amazing.
I would have loved to hear about those amps in them subs.
You don't care about
Solo Barrack L7. That was an amp, or that was a sub that I bought. It was a square speaker. And I
So
never
this
got
is going to freak you out when I say
Okay.
this. At first, this is years into the process. They were like, hey, can we track our own planets in our own solar system? Can we like track those and look at those really quickly? They're like, well, we built this thing to look way past our own solar system. We kind of know about this one. We want to look past and see elsewhere. And they had to make a request because this thing couldn't actually track objects in motion in our solar system. Like,
so they had to make a request. You mean like to do that?
It's a software and a hardware upgrade, and they actually did it. So they are only allotted 100 hours per year that they can look at things that are in our own solar system. Because we're not trying to find out is there life on Venus. Actually, this thing can't even look that direction. It has to look outward. Because remember, it doesn't rotate.
So does it only see it whenever it passes it or something?
Mars and out. It's not. None of those other planets are going to pass in front of it.
Oh wow! Oh,
So
yeah,
Venus and Mercury are that way.
I got it.
So
I know
which-
how
that's
planets
kind
work.
of that's kind of wild. That's
Roy
kind
G.
of
Biv.
wild. All right. So I'm going to skip past that. I'm going to skip past that. Here's what this thing is actually going to look at. This thing is going to look at planets around other stars.
Okay.
It will be able to tell us if there is life, if there is water, if there is breathable
How long
air.
till we know?
6 months.
In 6 months, we'll know.
In 6 months, we will get our first images back of other
planets,
galaxies, other planets, other stars.
That's insane, bro.
We will know. Like
This is awesome.
not. Don't patronize me.
I'm being Neil. I think at this point, you know, I'll tell you the truth.
I know this. I'm so
This is awesome.
unbelievably excited about this.
Yeah, this is sick.
This is not like, hey, I wonder. Now, what's tricky about this is we'll never be able to travel to these other places.
Why?
I mean, you and I won't be able to travel
Why?
to it because there's not enough time. It will be so many.
I wish you had
millions of-
more time.
There's so many millions of light years away. We'll never be able to get there in time.
Have you seen Passengers?
Unless we go to sleep.
We go to sleep for
If you
120
wake
years.
me up too soon, so help me God, Tyler.
Bro, we can plant some trees.
So we will also be able to see black holes in extreme detail. Like not just, hey, we think this does this, or hey, that's what we think a black hole looks like in Interstellar. We will actually be able to see what they look like as they suck all light and everything else into them. That's going to be pretty amazing.
That's crazy.
We are also going to figure out, is Earth the only planet that is Earth actually that special? Why is it that on Earth, all these things exist so that we can have human life, but could it possibly exist elsewhere? We will know the answer to that.
That's cool.
Not just in 6 months, but we'll know it's going to take some time. We have 10 years of having this thing up and running. We will also be able to see how stars are born inside of gas clouds, inside of a nebula.
Do we not know that now?
No, we don't.
Oh, cool.
We've never seen how it actually happens.
Dope.
We see the result of it. We've never actually seen how it works because we can't see through the nebula. Because this is looking in infrared rays, we will be able to shift the light and see directly past it.
You know what's crazy to think about?
What?
Like if we talk about, oh, there's aliens, other like, what are the odds that we are the only aware or like in all the universes, in all the worlds?
I think it's crazy.
That we're the only ones, but then you think, okay, well, if somebody else is out there, you know, over billions of years, like they would have built up the technology to travel and see and different. There is a good possibility that that's happened. They've seen Earth and thought, no thanks. Like we don't want any part of it. I'm dead serious.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Or they could have come here and built the pyramids.
Oh my gosh. Like a Stargate.
I'm probably the first person
like a
to think of that.
Stargate?
Just like Stargate, yes.
Wow.
With Kurt Russell.
Yeah. James Spader.
Oh, yes. Was he the bad guy in there?
No, he's a good guy.
Oh, he's the dorky guy.
Yeah.
The glasses.
Yeah. Which is funny.
Yeah. You think he's the
dorky
hero.
guy.
Now he's the hero in movies because we're allowed to like people that aren't like the athletic jocks.
The guy in the chair. We will be able to see Nebula. We will also be able to finally know is string theory correct. I wrote down in here what string theory is, just in case.
Tell us.
For our listeners. It's a
What?
It's just, I'm such a nerd. I absolutely love this. It's
cool.
So when we talk about books that we've read, I absolutely love reading about things like gravity, about quantum theory and string theory. String theory is basically this. It's a theoretical framework. It's not necessarily real about how particles or objects interact with each other in space. It is a one-dimensional line from point A to point B that actually holds things together. And the way every particle is actually connected. I'm a total nerd. Okay.
I like it.
The quantum gravity is really what we're talking about. It's another way of saying string theory. It's what does the gravity of this object have to do with the gravity of another object?
That's good. Can I tell you a joke about string? Is it okay?
Yes, please do. Yes.
I'm the worst.
No, it's okay.
So So there was this string, and he walks into a bar, and he asked the bartender, he said, "Hey, bartender,
Okay.
can I get a drink?"
Okay.
And the bartender said, "No, we don't serve strings here. Like, get out of here. You're a string. Get out."
Yeah, get out.
And the string goes home, and the string's just like, "Oh my gosh, I'm so
Oh,
thirsty.
no.
I need a drink." So he's like, starts just falling on the ground, just rolling around, like scratching his head. He walks up to a kitty cat and lets kitty cat play with him for a while. Just ties himself up. Just ties himself up. We got like a couple little little balls and stuff like that. Like 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 of those. He's just like tied up and all these knots and everything like that. And he's fraying, all this stuff and just scratching his head. And he walks back into the bar. He says, "Bartender," he goes, "Hey, can I get a drink?" And he goes, "Hey, aren't you that string from earlier?" He goes, "No, I'm afraid not."
You said they got roughed up by a kitty cat.
So is that kind of like the string theory?
Exactly like string theory. That's exactly what it is. Yeah.
Gosh, I'm the
No,
worst
100%.
co-host ever, aren't I?
No,
You're
no,
sitting
no.
here thinking I could
Nope.
have had James
Nope.
Spader as my co-host,
Nope.
and I got you.
Hey, they're going to find out if exoplanets are like, does this actually belong in our solar system? There are moons that are around Neptune that are actually in a further out orbit than what Pluto is, which is why we're like, hey, wait a minute. Is Pluto actually a planet? Is it actually a moon? We know based off of its orbit. We're going to find all this stuff out.
Okay.
This next part, I think you will be
I've
intriguing
enjoyed
to.
every single moment of this.
This is the biggest thing that I have learned in watching and reading the scientists who have done all the research for this thing for years. There's one of the guys actually is going to retire right after. No, he actually is retiring this month. He retires this month. He's spent 40 years of his life devoted to working at NASA. He's retiring, but he's the guy that got all this thing up and running. He said they're not anxious about this thing at all. Like, I'm freaked out thinking about a $10 billion thing that's out there. 8 Marvel movies of worth out there, but $10 billion if the thing goes wrong, like that terrifies me. He says, we're not anxious at all.
No.
And he said, here's the why. They don't get anxious about things that they prepare for. He says, when somebody says, oh my gosh, you need to worry about this, he goes, we just make a plan for it.
Yeah.
We make a plan and we spend all of our effort and energy in the preparation for it. He says, we don't waste extra energy on worrying about anxious thoughts. He says, we work on a solution and it's way, way, way more efficient. That's like, okay, that makes total sense to me.
Bro,
I'm like, okay.
it's 10 billion. Like, it's not that. It's like, that's like 3 and 3.2 Avatars movies.
Wow.
So it's like not even a big deal.
That's not even that much.
It's not even, who cares? It wasn't even that good. I'm serious.
It was, I didn't like Avatar.
No, it was
Did you
boring.
like it?
The
It's like a
ride is
cartoon.
really fun though.
I've never been on the ride.
Yeah, it's cool. Finn, so we went a few months ago to Disney World. We took the kids, and we'd never been on the Avatar ride. We went on it. It's like this thing you like sit on these like motorcycle things, but it's really like a the whatever the thing you ride in the air, like an Avatar. And you're sitting there, and there's this huge screen that like it covers like everything you can see in front of you, and you're stacked a row, and then there's like I don't know 10 or 12 like rows of people, so you're watching it like. People are at different levels of this building watching this screen, and you're like flying around in the jungle or whatever. And I'm sitting next to Finn. He's my youngest son. And you got these like 3D goggles on and stuff sprays on you and you're flying around.
Okay.
And I'm sitting there and Finn leans forward and his glasses were too big and they fell off and dropped like 8 stories down in front of all these people and hit the ground.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Did they let you keep the 3D goggles after you're done?
No. I didn't want to. I was having enough trouble keeping up with 3 kids. I want to keep with some of 3
Don't want to do
3D goggles. I don't
those.
like 3D goggles.
So dumb.
Like Neil, who
Nothing
cares
else.
about
You
that?
live
It
in a
reminds
3D
me of the telescope, the James
here's
Gunn
something
telescope.
The James Gunn Space Telescope.
Yeah, it's good. Twitter,
It's
not
good.
great, but
No,
everything
yeah,
else
it's
is
not
good.
great. So they said one of the best people that they have working on the project are people who challenge the entire process. They have people on staff that come in and they say that's not right. And what it does is it makes the people who are working on it prove whether it is right or not.
That's good.
He said there is no animosity on this team. They work in harmony. No one is fighting for their idea to be right. They are fighting for the right answer, which is amazing.
That's so
I have
good.
the right answer. No, I don't care if yours. I want to know what is the right answer.
Yeah.
There's
a true scientific
so
approach.
much humility in this. Yes.
It's that book, Adam Grant's Think Again.
If we did more of that, that doesn't mean that you have to fight that person. We just have to go, okay, let's get to the right answer.
Let's figure it
Stop
out.
fighting for mine to be right.
It's not like, what's your opinion? What's your opinion? What's your opinion? Everybody keep thinking what they want. It's like, let's throw it out there. Let's debate, work together, figure out the best, roll with it.
Yeah, 100%. All right, 3v3 this. Okay.
Welcome to the party, pal. This is 3v3.
Also, if this was foot race, I think we would beat it.
Would be the telescope?
Yeah, we'd beat the telescope.
For 10 billion, you'd think they'd at least put some legs on that thing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. All right. So my thought is,
Okay.
what songs would you use to test the telescope for noise vibrations with the world's largest subwoofer?
Oh, that's easy. Okay, you go first. Not it.
Okay.
First song.
I would say Eminem.
Which one?
I would-
That's a person, not a song.
I would say 8 Mile.
8 Mile.
Yeah.
Mom Spaghetti.
Yeah.
You know he opened up a restaurant called Mom Spaghetti?
Yeah, he did. I think he's doing really well.
Did he really? Is that a joke we made on this podcast, or is that like a real thing?
No, it's a real thing.
He made a restaurant called
Yeah.
Mom Spaghetti.
Oh, yeah. It's 100% real.
I don't believe it.
No, it's true.
Do you know the guy he rap battled? Do you know who that was in the movie?
No.
It was the guy that became Captain America, Falcon.
For real?
Yeah.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
I've actually never watched that movie.
What?
Yeah, I've never watched a movie.
It's pretty good.
I know. So get a phone call.
Yeah.
I said no to it. It's okay.
Oh, good.
What song? I didn't realize that. Wait a minute. Is that like Bucky Barnes?
No, the guy that became Captain America, the Falcon.
Oh.
Yeah.
Anthony Mackie.
Yeah.
For real.
Yeah.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
Dang. I have not seen that movie yet.
You haven't seen 8 Mile.
No, I haven't seen it. I'm sorry. Is that bad?
I mean, it's whatever. It's just disappointing. I'm not
I'm
mad.
sorry.
I'm just
sorry.
disappointed.
Oh, that hurts more. That hurts way, way, way more.
I always said to my kids, I was like, I'm not mad. I'm just disappointed, and I'm mad.
Yeah, 100%. So
100%
angry.
mad.
Very angry.
So my song would be, are we getting a call?
Tell me. No, I was going to say, what song is it? And then
Oh, you're playing your song?
Yeah. No, I'm going to play your song, whatever your song is.
Yeah.
What song? What song do you want it to be?
You know what song I'm going to play.
What song?
I Love You Always Forever by Donna Lewis.
Okay.
Greatest song ever made.
All right. And here it is.
Like.
You would play this song? This would not make a lot of
You got to skip to the
noise.
chorus, bro.
Sorry.
Keep going.
Okay.
Keep
Wow.
going. It hits in a second.
Further?
Blue eyes.
You're okay. Tyler's dancing right now.
Oh my God. It really hits here in a second. You don't even know, bro. You ain't even ready.
I don't know.
You've heard this song.
I mean, I have.
Oh, there it is.
Yeah. You want this one to play.
More than anything in the
This
world.
is what we're going to hold up against $10 billion.
I love you always, forever, near and far, closer together, everywhere.
Ow.
I will be with you, everything I will be for you. I love you always, forever, near and far, closer together, everywhere. I will be with you. You know this song.
Yeah, I do know the song. You know what my song's going to be?
Never stop, never, whatever. Is this Hans Zimmer from Batman? Hey, what am I listening to?
This is Run Boy Run. Have you never heard this song?
No.
Oh.
I only listen to Donna Lewis or podcasts.
Hang on. Oh, I want this to be way louder. I want this.
Did we get the rights to all these songs?
No,
Oh,
we
okay.
can't get the rest of any of them.
Okay.
Hang on a second. It's going to hit. That rattles something.
Okay.
Okay.
So I'm winning. That was stupid.
Wow.
All right, my turn.
Okay. Yep. Yes. Yeah. No,
All right.
that's for
I want
sure.
to play my song again for my second song. I want the
Okay.
same song to play again. And they're like, "What is the same song?" And Tyler's just standing there dancing. Keep going a little further. Go further. Keep me forever. This hits. Never stop, never, whatever, near and far and always and everywhere and every. Say you'll always love me forever. Never stop, never, whatever, near and far and always and everywhere and everything. All right, that's good.
Okay. This is going to be my song. You ready for it?
Yeah.
Tyler, I have one question for you. Your answer had better be positive. When I ask you this question, it's all going to come together.
Okay.
The stars will align.
Oh, yeah, I get it. Telescopes.
The question I want to ask you is, well, first of all, this would hit. This song The entire place would shake.
The band Sublime.
No, this is better than that. Wow, that hurts.
Everclear.
Can I kick it?
That's what I would ask you.
Can I kick it?
Yes, you can. It's
I've heard this song.
a tribe called Quest.
I have heard this.
That's what this is. Yeah, we're getting flagged for this entire episode.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we're done. All right, what's your third song?
Can I kick it?
You know, I'm really tempted to go back to Donna Lewis for round 3, but
Yeah.
I think if we're playing this for
Yeah.
the cosmos, and this is what you can't have a second first impression to alien life,
No,
and so if like they hear this,
Yeah.
I need them to know what we're all about.
Okay.
Like as a human race.
What are we all about?
I mean, I would want it to connect to space. So I'm thinking I'm going to, and this is a legit answer. Okay. So I wasn't going to be funny. I was
Okay.
like, oh, I'm going to be funny. I'm going to say Cisco's the thong song. No, I'm going to this is a real one. You ready?
Uh-huh.
Beastie Boys.
Oh.
Intergalactic.
Oh.
Because we're going out into the earth, into the universe, into the cosmos.
Absolutely.
Galactic, planetary,
Oh, yeah.
intergalactic. This is a banger.
Yeah, this will be good. I can get behind this. That's actually really good.
I get behind this like Urban Meyer.
Oh my gosh. Okay, I think we got that one. I think I won 3v3 for sure.
You won?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yours were a bunch of.
100%.
I had the greatest song ever
I
made
have
twice.
variety.
Wow.
The question on everyone's mind, will it rock? The answer is probably yes.
You know what song I almost picked was "It's About Drive, It's About Power" because I knew it was going to lead into this.
Yes,
but
that
I
actually would have been good.
No.
The answer to this one is very simple. I don't think we even need this to be up for debate. No, Dwayne, stay away from our very highly sensitive $10 billion expensive telescope that will tell us the origins of the Earth. You are the opposite of sensitive.
You know what he would say?
No, sir.
He's
What?
like, he'd be like, "What do I care about 10 billion? This is like 1.5 Fast and Furious movies." Okay, let's see if it'll run. You ready?
Yeah.
Okay. How? Okay, hold on. Nope.
He
How
can't fit into a car.
much money has The Rock's movies made?
Oh, no.
He has
Well-
made 10 of his movies have brought in more than 435 million. That's 10 movies that have brought in 435 million.
Okay.
That's not altogether per movie. Furious 7 made
That's-
$1.5 billion.
That's $4.35 billion.
yeah.
So far.
Did you have to use your calculator
I
for
did.
that
I
math?
thought there was more math coming. I thought we're already here. Are there no more numbers I have to put into this?
All you gotta do is move the decimal once, Neil.
It's math, Tyler. So he's not even at 5 billion yet.
All right, here are his top grossing movies.
Keep
so
in
far.
mind, Tooth Fairy took a
top
bath.
10, just his top 10. You ready?
Okay.
The Mummy Returns
No.
made 435 million.
No.
Yeah, put it in there.
Oh my gosh.
Number 9, San Andreas
Okay.
made 456 million. You're not typing it
I'm
in.
sorry.
Or can you do this math in your head, but you can't do
456.
10 times
Got it.
something.
Got it.
Fast 5.
Yeah.
Made 630 million.
Okay.
Moana,
Mm-hmm.
it's about drive. It's made. That's not what the movie's about. It's about driving power.
Okay.
636 million. Hobbs and Shaw, which we saw in theaters.
We did.
We contributed to this. We
Yeah.
invested in this.
Wow.
Made 760 million.
Hobbs and Shaw made 760 million.
Fast and Furious 6. How do they know? Just call it Fast 6, Fast 7,
Yeah.
Furious. Fast
It's not
and
Furious anymore.
Make up your mind.
They're wrinkly.
790 million.
Wow.
What is that noise? Are you playing music in the background?
I don't think I am.
You're just really trying to get this copyrighted. Jumanji, next level. So Jumanji 2 is 800 million. Jumanji 1 made 960 million.
Wow.
The Fate of the Furious,
Uh-huh.
dumbest name of all the Furious
uh-huh.
ones. That was what is that? I don't know which one that was. That made 1.2 billion.
Wow.
And then Furious 7 made $1.5 billion. How are those movies making? They're going to end it at 10? Yeah, right. They'll do spinoffs. They just can't afford the whole cast. I mean, you'd think you could with that much money, but
Okay, so he's only at 7.6 billion.
only for his top 10. That's his top 10. He's in like 8 movies every 6 months.
You're right.
San Andreas is in his top 10.
That's terrifying.
Think of what the rest made.
That is terrifying. Well,
He was in the rundown with Johnny Knoxville.
so
we
he-
don't want to ever remember that.
We don't ever talk about that.
Greatest movie ever made. How dare you?
All right, so it'll rock, I guess. Just don't touch the
Just
telescope.
don't touch it. How would you see him
Okay.
interacting with that guy that worked on this for 40 years and just retired?
Oh, he would crush him.
It's about drive, it's about power.
The guy who's worked for 40 years, he would crush him.
Oh, he crushed
with
him.
his knowledge.
Yeah, that's how that works.
That's why nerds win every fight.
James
eventually.
Spader versus Kurt Russell.
There it is.
There it is.
All right, guys, listen.
Did we do it?
I'm gonna apologize to Tyler
Why?
and to all of our
I
listeners
liked
for
this.
this one. Actually, I apologize for nothing.
We did an episode on Twilight. Don't ever apologize for any of this.
That
was a Patreon,
I
though, wasn't it?
cannot wait until June hits.
Why?
Well, now, if we get a pixelated, like, bad image of this thing when it comes back, like the first
Enhance.
pictures, then it comes back and we're like, is that the best we got? You know they're going to get absolutely roasted over the images that come back. If they're not amazing, they're going to go, I don't know, is that 10 billion?
Yeah, my
I'd go
iPhone
into
has better photos.
Visco and do
Zoom.
better than that. Yeah.
Zoom.
All right.
On Visco, you know how they try to make an Instagram where you can like follow people?
Ugh.
I only follow people named Tyler. So I follow like 50 people named Tyler
Man.
because I didn't care and I'm not going to scroll it. I thought
I'm
it'd be
not
funny.
scrolling that
I thought
thing.
it'd be funny.
No, I don't even have the app anymore.
I don't either. I use Lightroom
Yeah. Good for
because
you.
you told me to.
Good for you.
Because your kids told you to, and then you told
Yep.
me to.
So we're all doing what our kids say.
What is this about, man?
I don't know.
It's about drive. It's about power.
Thank you guys for listening to this
Thank
one.
y'all so much.
This is all
guys.
about science. And,
weird science.
we love it.
Titus, every now and then, he'll be talking, go, science rules. He'll say that for no reason all
It
the
does.
time.
It does.
It really does.
Yeah.
Newton's laws, those are the science rules. It's the rules of science, Neil.
I want to thank our sponsor, Gary
Adam
V.
Grant. Oh, Gary V. Did you see the book that I bought
did.
you by?
I did. Gary V.
So did I tell you about the? So I bought. So if you bought 12 books, he was like, "There's gonna be a surprise." Like I was like, "He's gonna give an NFT." So I bought 12 books, and I was like, "I'm gonna give these to my friends." Well, they delivered it to our old house, and the old house people they said, "Oh, this is for the Tarvers," and so they gave it to the next door neighbors, our friends. They put it on their front porch. Our next door neighbors have a large dog who found the box
No.
and chewed through the box.
Oh my gosh.
I know. It's like
That's not good.
12 and a half. It's more like 9 2/3 is how much of
It's
my
not
books
quite.
got.
There's
to me.
not left. There's not a lot
That
left.
one, I gave you a clean one.
Thank you.
Yeah,
You're
it's not
cleaning this.
unsullied by sponsorships. That's from a show.
It is.
All right. Well, I guess we're going to end this. What's the best way to end this?
If only there was a thing that we said.
I wish we had a catchphrase. Who was it? Mark Cox. He listened to all of our episodes, and we said, "Mark, what's the catchphrase?" He goes, "Oh, I don't know." Was he the one that said he didn't know what a catchphrase was?
Yeah.
Yeah, Mark. We say it every episode.
Eventually.
Thank you for coming to my TED Talk.
Goodbye.
What?
Bye.
Thanks for listening to the Explain Everything podcast. You can follow us on TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube at Explain Everything Podcast. We're on Spotify and Apple Podcasts, but you're already here. We love you. No, actually, we're in love with you. Thanks for coming on our TED Talk. Bye.